Today I'm going to show you version 2.0 of the DP7-PRO firmware, which allows you to load 3D lookup table files and preview them on the monitor in real time. Before I do that, there's just a couple new updates that 2.0 adds to the monitor that I'm going to cover real quick. If you open a menu, you're going to notice that we have little X marks now, then that X symbolizes exiting a menu. And if you go into a second level, you're going to see a back button. If you want to exit quickly, you just press and hold the back button, and then it gets you out of the menu. So that works for anywhere there's a back button. I can go back into the menu. It'll bring me back into the same place. Under the input menu here, you can now assign your outputs, SDI and HDMI outputs, which is conversion, to a smart key, which makes it really handy to switch between inputs and outputs and all that kind of stuff. And you can do the same thing for fan speed. So if things need to be really quiet on the set and it's a hot environment, you can silence the fan really quickly for the shot. And that's it for the minor updates. Now we can take a look at the good stuff, which is this new looks menu. So inside the looks menu, slightly different look than some of the other menus. We have a browse and a settings section. The settings, the only thing under settings is look info display, and we'll see what that is. It's just a display that shows us which 3D lookup table is actually active at any given time. And right now there's no lookup table active, so we don't see anything. The browse section is where the good stuff is. The first section here is log correction, and these are lookup tables that are built into the DP7 to help turn log footage into a Rec. 709 gamma curve. So I'll enter this menu, and you'll see what we have in here currently. Lots of different lookup tables for different cameras here. So, and what I can do right now is apply one of these lookup tables we have by selecting and clicking, and it turns it on. You see the on button. So now I can view this lookup table in action on the footage I'm seeing, and I can also press the scroll wheel again, click it to turn it off. And so we've cleared the menu, or cleared the screen of menu items so that you can really see the whole picture as much as possible, and you can kind of turn these on and off. So once you've had a chance to look at that and examine it, you can scroll the wheel up or down, and that will re-enter you back into the menu. So now I can go select another one and preview it if I'd like to. So once you've selected a lookup table that you really like, you can then scroll down to the bottom here and add a new smart key. And this, again, gives you the option to add a smart key to any of the 3 smart key pages. I'll just select this one here. So now it tells me that my Red Gamma 3 is selected, and I can press the smart key to deactivate it. The other thing it does is when I've assigned this key, I can press and hold to edit the settings like any other smart key. What it does is it brings up the folder of the log correction that I was in to assign this originally. And we can look down and we see that Red Gamma 3 is the one that has the star next to it. But I can change that to another one. So I can go up to log C, and it changes. And now this smart key is actually using the log C lookup table. And I can back out of that. And as always, you can press and hold to edit the settings and just get rid of the smart key completely. So we can delete it, and it'll go away. Now we can go back into our main menu. It brings us back to the spot we were at. This little section here, stored on DP7, that represents lookup tables that have been stored from a SD card onto the internal memory of the DP7. And I'll show you how to do that in just a second. But first, we need to insert an SD card. And this SD card has lookup tables already loaded onto it. We've already put them into specific folders, and you'll see that those folders on the first level of the SD card actually show up in the main menu, including this root directory here, which will include any lookup tables that you've put onto the card that are not in a folder. They're just on the root directory. So I can look in there and see that we have one .cube file in there, and we can preview it really quickly and turn it off and exit the menu, get back to our other folders. So right now I've got a lot of different folders in here, which is great, and you can see that you can have a lot of different folders because you have multiple pages here. So I'm going to flip over to page 2, and we're going to see that we have a folder here called Small HD Lookup Tables, and this is a folder that we are including with this firmware file so that you can test out this functionality. They're just some sample lookup tables that are loosely based on slog. So we can go in here and look. So again, these were created by us using DaVinci Resolve, and so we can go and try some of these out and see how we like them. And so once you determine which look you really like, again, you just leave it active and scroll down, assign a smart key. I'll do that here. We can still see it's active. And right now, because of the settings menu within the looks menu, you can also see that sort of faintly the look is active, and it tells you what look it is across the top there. And so even when the smart keys are gone and there's nothing there, that setting will show you that you have a lookup table actually turned on the monitor, which is kind of important sometimes. So we'll go back into the main menu here. And what I can do is go back into this folder and look at these lookup tables. And if I like this one a lot, rather than just having it assigned to a smart key, I can also press and hold in this section, and there's a little floppy disk icon with a plus sign, and if I press and hold, it means I'm actually putting it in the stored on DP7 section. So I'll press and hold, does a little loading bar, saves the look. Now I can actually back out of here and go look in my stored on DP7, and now I see that that lookup table has actually been stored. So here it is, which is pretty neat. So if you have one SD card and a ton of monitors, you can go around to all of them and store the look you need for that day on all the monitors without having to have a ton of SD cards. And again, you can assign this to a smart key the same way you can any other look in any other folder. The last thing to keep in mind is that if you are assigning looks from your SD card to your smart keys, if you remove the SD card, those looks won't work anymore. It's not bad for the card or the monitor, they just will not show up. So I'll kind of show you what that looks like. So I'll go back to Small HD here. Let's pick another one. Ooh, day for night. That one's kind of dark. We might not be able to see it actually very well. So I'll pick another guy here. That one looks good. We'll go down, assign the smart key, and put it right here. So now we see it. I've assigned it from Small HD LUTs. Both of these are actually. So now when I eject the card, they just the lookup table I have active stays on the monitor, and I can turn that off, but now I can't turn it back on because it's looking for the SD card. But if I just reinsert the SD card, it finds them, realizes they're there, and now I can reactivate the lookup tables. And so that pretty much sums up the user interface of the lookup tables. It's relatively simple once you have your looks on an SD card. If you have just general help, turn on the help tips, and it can guide you through the process a little bit. And stay tuned for tutorials, and also contact support if you need anything else. Thanks for watching.